No drunk drivers. Let's get right into it. This video is going to be about the Texas laws that have been activated on September 1st, 2019. The reason I'm making this video is because, I don't know, it kind of hit me a certain way. I'll just say that. So this video is going to be a little bit different than the ones that I've done previously. I'm going to be talking different because I am, I guess you can say, targeting a different demographic, right? So here we go. Let me start off by reading some of the laws, and I'll explain to you why I kind of felt the way that I feel. Tobacco. So this law seems to be, the tobacco age has been increased to 21 years old. Okay. I can see the logic in that. You know, tobacco, it's harmful and has addiction. It can be addictive. So I get it. You want to protect the youth. Protect the youth. That's a very strong and powerful phrase, right? Protect the youth. So I would think that could be one of the reasons why this law was enacted or voted upon or what have you. And I'll put out my disclaimer. I am somewhat ignorant on how the law or how laws are created or altered or revised or all that good stuff. I don't have that type of knowledge currently. So I'm just reacting off of what I know. I'm thinking of a mindset of being practical and solution orientated, right? So yeah, all right. Tobacco. All right, I can see that one. CBD, something with the hemp and farming and all this stuff. I guess, the hemp properties of marijuana. I guess they want to register something to use that product. All right. So what I know about, or what I think I know about some laws or how they're passed is they have businesses who get together and they either come together with numbers or they approach the powers that be with a certain amount of money. Maybe not directly, but there's a certain way you can make these transactions per se. I'm not sure, but I think I'm right about that. But I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, feel free to correct me, right? So, okay, I can see why someone would have an interest in that. Not, I don't want to get too much into it with the, with the marijuana uses and all that, because this is not what this is about. I'm just going by the laws that have been activated on September 1st. So, I'm thinking of the mindset, the laws, protect the people or protect businesses and things of that nature, right? So it seems to be along the lines of that narrative. So let's continue. Cough medicine. So now they want you to be 18 years old. Okay, I can see that. Once again, protecting the youth. 18 years old to purchase cough medicine. So I can follow that logic. All right, you don't want people of a certain age to be purchasing these drugs. If they're drugs, because they do have, they're potent, drowsy and all that other stuff. So I get it. So I don't want to go too much into it. I just say I follow the trajectory or the logic of that law. So let's move forward. Indecent digital exposure. So it was pretty much with the nude pictures is I guess is now deemed illegal to do that. So this one I'll save for later. There's a couple, this law and maybe another one to where it supports my logic on how I'm thinking, right? So let's move forward, but we'll get back to that one. Porch pirates. Now this one, we're gonna save that one for last, but that pretty much is talking about, you're stealing packages, from people's porches. Okay. Hunting, fishing license. Okay, all right. You know, it's got to protect business. Kind of like what I said, protecting the people, protecting the business, right? Lemonade stands. Like I said, I don't even know if this stuff is true. I'm just reading what I saw, and whether it's true or not, I still wanted to talk about these things. Lemonade stands. Okay, something about selling on private property. I don't know. Alcohol delivery. Permit for that. Oh, okay. Well, you know, I get it. Protecting businesses and the people. Alcohol delivery permit. Oh, all right. So let's move forward. Guns. Guns would be allowed in school lots. All this other stuff. Natural disaster. Something about a license with guns. Okay, we do need the gun laws. Or okay, so school marshals, no limit. All right. So I'm just browsing through. But I want to get to my point. And here we go. So let's get to, I see brass knuckles. Brass knuckles. So I guess it's now legal to carry brass knuckles. Man, that's very vital to that is a rising issue of people being attacked by brass knuckles. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna stop with the condescending and sarcasm. All right, let's get to it. Well, I'll try not to. I'll just say that. Man, it's hard for me not to, though. Okay, let's get into it, though. So, the ones that I said I was going to visit later. The Porch Pirates and indecent digital exposure. Okay, so Porch Pirates, indecent digital exposure. So to my understanding, like I say, correct me if I'm wrong, laws are here to protect people and businesses in general. So laws are not new. Laws have been around for quite some time. I'll just say that. So my thinking is laws we're talking about the laws that are created by legislature and things of that nature, right? They're put in place because of, I guess, of an unsettling or something that startles the public, or they notice a negative trend. So it's like that you want to put something in place to hinder this growth, to hinder this movement, to hinder or make people think twice about a certain action, right? So I also believe laws they're more, in its inception, they're created within a certain political climate or whatever the environment, or how the actions of the people in that current environment for that time frame. So I can see why you would create more laws as technology, advances, and you create different environments. So today it's we have an internet environment now. So in the past, you didn't have an internet environment, so there's no way to really, I guess you can say, control it, or once again go back to protecting the people and stuff like that, right? So the indecent exposure, with the pictures over the internet or sending via text message, I'm sure that law, maybe there was a similar law, but it wasn't, the wording wasn't precisely going after people using the cell phone or the internet per se, right? So they created this new law to specifically attack what they view what might be a growing problem. Okay, I have no problem with that. And then I was going to touch on the porch, what is it, the porch thieves or whatever that is, right? I guess mail delivery and all that stuff has been around for quite some time, but like I said, once again, with the technology advances, you notice, people with the theft with the Amazon packages or just packages in general. So now you have these video cameras and you catch people in the act and you see this. So the political personnel who are in charge of the laws, I guess they were monitoring these crimes. And so they put in place a law to deter individuals from committing this crime, right? So that's just my logic. Could be wrong, could be right, I don't know. So it's just my opinion. So when I initially read about these laws and my current plight in wanting to push for a law to target drunk drivers, specifically fatalities. Now, there are different variations of drunk driving or the effects of drunk driving, and I do not want to leave those people behind either. But everything has a starting point. So my starting point is mainly dealing with the fatalities because, life is very important, right? It's extremely important. This is it. Life is life. You should want to protect that at all costs. So that is my plight, right? And I want mandatory sentencing. And of course, everybody knows my story, what happened to my family, the unfortunate tragedy. So, okay. Now with these laws, I can only assume that either it was a public outcry to get these laws enacted, or maybe the powers that be or politicians or whoever the lawmakers are, they were monitoring the actions of the people or certain crimes, and then they decided to enact on it and enforce these laws, which are effective on September 1st. So we have brass knuckles and hemp tax and all the stuff I just went through, right? Protect the people and the business. So at some point they must have said, hey, you know what, this is getting out of hand. Let's do something about this. Or maybe a certain business or a group of personnel presented them with how they interact, but it was something like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So, okay, we're going to enact that law, right? So my question is, what do the lawmakers, because my plight is with drunk driving and drunk driving fatalities, right? Now, one can say there is a direct correlation or association or relation between a trend and a law being passed, right? To stop that trend or deter the trend or slow the numbers of the growth of that trend. So drunk driving has been around for quite some time, and drunk driving fatalities have been around for that same amount of time. It's just my assumption or things that I've studied, that I've seen, right? And so I'm like, okay, lawmakers, you must have known about it. So let's just use me, for instance. So when you saw that on the news, boom, it happened. Goes worldwide. Yeah, literally worldwide. And you saw my face, you saw Shayla's face, and you saw Braylon's face, right? These are my family. It seemed like there should have been some type of correlation between the previous drunk driving fatalities. So just like with the law, with the porch thieves and the indecent exposure over the texting, you notice a trend, you want to stop it, so you enact the law. So what was going through your mind when you saw Braylon and you saw Shayla and you saw that they were killed due to drunk driving? It seemed like, this is my assumption though, it's only one I'm thinking, and it's my opinion. And I can't prove this to be right or wrong, but it just seems like it should have triggered some type of emotion to where it's like, hey, these stories they've been coming along quite often. Maybe not daily, but enough to where it should have triggered that same emotion of, hey, enough's enough, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? So with all the families that have lost loved ones previously, and there are a lot of them, there are a whole lot of them, especially if you include across the nation, who have lost loved ones due to drunk driving, it seemed like somebody would have said, hey, enough's enough. But, hey, we got those brass knuckles. Yeah, we're going to push that through. So And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can feel free to contact me at reachout119@gmail.com. And this is specifically for politicians, lawmakers, whoever's in charge of making a law. And I will do my research. So I apologize for not doing my research because I'm speaking on something that I am somewhat ignorant about. But hey, I believe this. You can follow my logic. It's quite easy and quite practical. So if one is in that, if they're holding that position and you see this unsettling, startling trend, right? And it happens enough to where it's like you would think something must be done to deter, because that's what a lot of laws do. It deter. It doesn't necessarily eliminate a problem because you're still dealing with personal choice, but it can deter an individual from committing a crime. So in my instance, my plight is against drunk driving. So I can only think, okay, if you're holding that position and you see these stories, quite in particular my family and other families as well, but we're just going to use me for right now. You've seen the story. You've seen what happened. Everybody knew about it. Everybody saw the young baby, 3 months old, and you saw my beautiful wife killed, taken prematurely. Both taken prematurely. Where was that trigger? What emotion was triggered? So I'm thinking, if you're holding that position, one could have, I'm not sure if these talks have been had or whatever, but hey, you can enlighten me. Feel free to contact me. One would have that thought of, hey, let's do something to stop this trend. Enough's enough. Hey, it's happened enough. Let's get it done. So if you're holding that position, now I have certain thoughts in my head as far as why it has not happened. So one thought is maybe they're not aware of the problem with drunk driving. So, okay, if I'm a lawmaker and I am unaware in 2019 with the problem of drunk driving, that is a problem within itself. Maybe they were unaware, but like I said, it went viral. So I find it hard to believe that one was unaware of the drunk driving tragedies that have been occurring, right? So number two, maybe you were aware, but you just don't care. But the laws and lawmakers or whatever for the people, right? But you just don't care. That's a problem within itself too. So either you didn't know, you didn't care. So if it's those two, and now I have to go to the third one of, if you don't know and you didn't care, either or is a problem, because being ignorant, like as they tell us citizens, there's no excuse for not knowing the law. So being ignorant of a problem, one can assume that there is no relation between the lawmakers and the citizen. So that is the third problem. So when you have all these three, I have to assume that one might just be incompetent to hold that position. Now, I know these are very, very, very strong words, right? And I'm throwing out all of these suggestions. These are just, like I said, when I read the law, this is what I'm thinking. So, and I could be wrong. So I am extending an open invitation. You can reach out to me at reachout119@gmail.com. And we can talk about it, right? We can talk about it, and you can educate me on this law process. But I'm going to be doing my own research as well. But I know people are holding these positions. I haven't got to the point where I'm calling out names yet, but eventually, just stay tuned, right? So, yeah. So these are just a few questions that I would like for one to answer, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now, I don't like down talking on things that I'm not ingrained in. So I did admit that I am ignorant of the law making process, right? So this is just an open invitation, one, to reach out and explain. Not that you owe me an explanation, but people are watching me. And and I've talked to a lot of people, and the people seem to echo the same sentiments as myself. So it's not only me you're talking to all of the people who know and who wants change with these drunk driving laws, right? So I think that's about it. But yeah, reach out to me, reachout119@gmail.com. And yeah, we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Till next time, peace.